This week, I posted a comment indicating that we have in society a lot of women who would cheat or cheat as much as men, and a follower and supporter. At least about three of them argued the point that we all know that men cheat more than women. And I wanted to discount that argument very early on. We know for a long time that women mature faster than men. And we also know that the age of adulthood in most countries would be between the ages of 18 and 21. So most times, an 18-year-old would be considered an adult. And so sex with an 18-year-old, as long as they're consented, it's consensual, is normally deemed okay. But what we found is that the argument and the defense women were putting up is that a woman that is 18 is not an adult yet. So now we have so come to defend womanhood and the characteristics of women is that they're now arguing that only a 21-year-old is what is going to be characterized or seemingly an adult. But when we look at the males in society, an 18-year-old male, should he do a crime, you don't see women arguing the point that he's not yet an adult, especially if it's one of domestic violence. They will never argue that an 18-year-old male is not an adult, so he should be tried as a child. And these are the things that has happened in society where it's a norm, and it's part of a woman's hypergamy that a woman is normally going to try to attempt to make herself seem more innocent and softer. And so that's why when you see both parties or both sex meet in a relationship, if they're dating, the guy would normally want to indicate that he has a high number of sexual partners. It's not something that we bring out, but a guy would say, for example, I have 43. And if that is the truth, and a woman coming into the same relationship also has 43, she would never tell him that she has 43. She's going to say maybe 15. So she's always going to make herself look more innocent. And these are the things that confuse men over time, because we have research, and I can list at least 5 universities, 2 of which would be Oklahoma, and then you have, let's look at Liverpool, John Moore universities. These universities has done over 19 independent research studies on women between ages of 18 and as much as 35. And what you have found is that women would have one in every 5, or in every 20, you'll find 1 to 2 babies who the father is not who he think it is. And so women are having children, and men are believing that these children are theirs, and it's not really theirs. And it's a very sad thing. I look at a lot of Maury, especially on divorce courts, and what you see, I've seen women, and the average times a woman who is trying to find a baby daddy will come on Maury's show to try to find that baby. His father would be 5 times. In fact, I've seen up to a woman bring up to 11 men on Maury's show trying to find out who the father is. Not just understand that it would mean that these men would have to be. She would have to have been having sex with these men within a window, a very small window. And so, let's say between a 5 to 6 day period, she would have had sex with 11 men. It could be even more, and it could probably be even multiple times. So what are the odds of her just having sex once with each one of these guys, one time, and that's it? And so there are a lot of men out there who are having intercourse with women, and they are not the only person that they're having sex with, but they can't tell. And what you see in a number of scenarios as well is that babies are being born, and men are going to hospitals to sign the birth certificate, and at that point, women are not telling these men that it's not your child. And what is happening is that when the man finds out, it's too late, because the state requires him to continue to pay for that child till the age of 18. notice the age of 18 again. Because that's the age of adulthood. So what I'm saying basically is that this mindset and perception that only men cheat, or men are the majority of cheaters, is not true. Because if you take the average 21 to 25-year-old, 18 to 25-year-old woman, or 18 to 21-year-old girl, and you were to find out how much partners she would have, and you take the same age, 18 to 21 or 18 to 25, you would see that in a number of situations, women would have had much more sexual partners than men of the same age group. And why is that? Because a man at 18 is not as mature as a girl at 18. But the argument that we are having on social media, is not indicating at all that women are more mature than men. So they are trying to basically reverse the age now to defend women's hypergamy. And the thing is, a lot of times you see in scenarios, I remember growing up, there was a neighbor of mine who would have had, who was in a relationship with a girl. And I remember going to the basketball court one day, and I'm seeing the son, and jokingly, I mean, I was much younger, I was maybe about 17, 18, maybe even 19 years old, and I made a joke and I said, but how this child doesn't look like you, so your head doesn't have your shape and whatever. And that raised a lot of red flags in the circle that I was living with, and I had no clue that it was a touchy subject. Years after, about 3-4 years after, the couple broke up because apparently the father of the child was actually in the group there when I said what I said. So was the assumed father at the time. And after a couple of years, the child continued to look more and more like the actual father, and then the couple broke up because she cheated, and she never told him that. In fact, she named the child after him as well, after the guy who is really not the father who she was living with. And conversely, you see scenarios where a woman can be in a relationship with a guy for about 5 years, and that relationship broke off, and then she's with a new person after 6 months, and she got pregnant, and you would find that child in many cases doesn't even look like the guy who is actually the father from a DNA testing. And you see this as well in Murray or divorce court and paternity court and stuff. You see these cases come up all the time. The baby really doesn't look like the guy. It actually looks like the other guy who she was with before. But because sleeping with him, he has biologically affected her plasma and her biological DNA, he continues to look like the other guy and would have traits of the other guy as well, because that guy, a lot of his DNA coding is also within the woman. So, and then there's another case where if a woman has a partner on the side and she is having sex with her husband, but she actually really is more attracted to and loves the partner who's on the side, you can see also that the father can be the biological father, but when you look at the child, because she actually loves that other guy and her mind is on him when they're having sex, and she's looking at the partner her husband, let's say, and she's visualizing that the husband is the other person. The child can also still look like the other person because of her thoughts at the time. So these things there are a lot to go into these things, but I just wanted to make the point that we must remove this mindset, or this false pretense that women aren't cheating to very much the same amount or even more. Because a man cheating is totally different from a woman cheating. We are not the same. Men will cheat just for cheating's sake because it's an opportunity. But a woman will cheat, and a woman cheating is so much more deeper because it's on an emotional level. And the thing is that when a man cheating, most men, he can't perform the way he would perform just before sex. But a woman can actually have sex with a man now and immediately go to another partner. I've seen those scenarios even in my younger days where women would leave their own partners and come over to my place to have intercourse with me after having sex just less than 30 minutes before. You see? And that is the ability that women have. And so the mindset of that women don't cheat is not true. At least in my history of and my past, I've seen it in all walks of life. We get it. Women must appear to look more innocent, and that's what they do. They sit down more innocent. They look more decent. They tone their voice down, etc. And it's women's hypergamy. It's what they're designed to do, to look more innocent and not appear to be as vicious. But what we must understand is that a woman has the propensity to be an angel on one end and Medusa on the other, and a witch if she wants to as well. Women are able to demonstrate totally a number of different personality traits. So let's get this mindset out of that women aren't cheating as well. In fact, women in many scenarios cheat at the very same level or much more than men. All right, so like, comment, subscribe, share this video. Let me know what your views are, because I know personally a lot of women that have a number of secrets. If you're in a relationship with a woman, guys, believe it or not, there are a number of secrets and a number of things that this woman will never tell you. She will take it to her grave. Sometimes they don't even tell it to their best friends or their closest friends. You know, it's so embarrassing, the things that women actually would have done. And if you're in a relationship and she tells you she have 5 men, understand that it's much more than 5. It could be between 9 and 10. And you would meet these guys in going out with her. She would meet these guys and she would never indicate to you that this was her ex or somebody she slept with. In fact, women tend to want to be able to always lean to indicate, only mention the guys that they actually were in a relationship with. So if there's a guy that she would have had met within 1 month, hadn't had sex, and they would have had 4 or 5 sexual encounters, then she wouldn't identify him as being someone she was with at all, because it was too short term. So she would only indicate the guys, in most scenarios, who she actually was in a relationship with. And so there are a number of guys walking around and they would have had something, even if it's not full blown, maybe oral, and she would never mention those because that's another topic. Most times women don't refer to oral sex as sex, so they would never mention that. And if you ask, oh, you mean oral too? Yeah, well then that's what happens. So I want to clear that up, because I'm not bashing women. I'm just saying let's stop hiding and pretending as though women are all innocent and men are dogs and men are cheaters. A man has the personality of a dog and a woman has the personality of a cat. Now look at the 2 traits of the individual animals, and you would see the behavior, and you figure it out yourself. All right, guys? So like, comment, share, subscribe. Let me know what your views are in this video, and I'm looking forward to seeing your responses and learning too, and looking at your own experience. Okay? So bye for now. We talk soon.